Happy Veterans Day. Today was the first day that I floated in the Giza Float Tent, which I did invent. So we're going to go over the build, what happened during the first float, and some immediate refinements. So, the Giza Float Tent consists of a tank bottom and then a top. So, the top is this. It's a Giza Float Tent from Inner Fire Pyramids, built to the specifications of the Giza Pyramid. And the tank is an off-the-shelf doggy kiddie pool that you can get off Amazon by a company called Mio. So this gives you an idea. You know, you got the top, put the tank in there, and then there you have it. So heating, here's a heat track snow melting mat. This is a thermal guardian waterbed heater. Uh, let's move on. And then you just throw a tarp over that bad boy, and you are almost ready to float. So, the heating systems, as I said, one heating system is for the floor of the tank, and it's a snow melting mat and a waterbed heater. And both of those run into an Inkbird temperature controller. And then the other thing we have is an Aquatop submersible heater, which is basically an element that goes into the water, and it also has its own temperature control. And then I just have a device where I can just flip between them. I don't ever want to go above 1200 watts. So one of them, I use it sometimes. One of them, I use it at other times, just so that neither one gets overloaded. So how was the float? Well, the floor of the tank was too hot for comfort. So when I pulled up the top to get in, I was like, ooh, this floor is too hot. Just hot. Too hot. So I sort of switched it around, and then I felt some cold spots. Like as I was swishing the water around, there was like this ice cold spot that just met me as I was switching. I was like, "What the heck's going on here?" The specific gravity of the solution, you know, let's see here. Boom. You can see it's a very low 1.15. You really need to be in the 1.2, 1.25 area to get some nice buoyancy. So we're going to get some more salt for that. And then getting out of the tank. I mean, if you take a look at this tank, it's symmetrical, right? But it turns out that it's actually anchored. So in the far corner, which is not shown here, this corner and this corner, it's anchored using clamps. Thank you, Lowe's Hardware, for that 22-piece clamp set. But this side is not anchored, and you just pull this up to enter and exit the tank. So you just have to play Hollywood squares with the sides of the tank until you find out which side opens, and then you can get out. So, yeah, and it's circular, so that's why you don't have any idea where you are, which is kind of cool. The water temperature, I've gone over in other videos where there was a huge difference between the bottom and the top, and I'm not sure how swishing water in a lateral fashion is going to change top to bottom heating temperature. But I think a major problem with my heating is what you see here is that we're seeing the back of the tank. Here we see the temperature probes. Here we see the snow melting mat. Here we see the waterbed heater. And here's a rookie mistake. You put the temperature probes within 1 foot of both of the things that are heating the tank. Amateur. Amateur stuff. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Don't do that. Keep the temperature probe way away from any of the heating elements so that you can get a read of the water, not the heating element. So, what I did was I took a piece of cardboard, dipped it into the water, and so here's the water level. Then I put the probe so that it was near the top because the body is near the top of the water, and that's where you want the right temperature. It's not deep in the water that you want the right temperature. Jules, a friend of mine from the Facebook DIY float tank, he uses 6 inches. You know, that's about probably what I have here. And then you just take these giant paper clips from Office Max and you affix the temperature probes so they don't go up or down. Although because this is cardboard, it tends to float. It doesn't really matter too much as long as it's below the. I could use something more rigid to get a perfect float, perfect level for the temperature. You got a giant paper clip here which is hanging over the top. which is affixing the temperature probe. So that's pretty much the build for today, 11/11/2024. Uh, Looking forward to adding more salt. Looking forward to seeing how the temperature stabilizes when I have the probe away from the heating elements. And that's all for now. Over and out. Goodbye.